Welcome to Button Banter. This is the podcast from Red Button Marketing Training, brought to you in association with our partnership with Middlesbrough Football Club Women. In this podcast, we chat with amazing people in the region, all around marketing, their stories, their journeys, and we have great banter. So on today's podcast, I am joined by, and I always do this each podcast, but I need to just give such a big intro to my guest today. I'd like to say I'm kind of in the company of royalty, nearly.
Queen Bee.
Queen Bee. That's got to be a clue. Got to be a clue. Good afternoon. Like, there is literally, and I've got to say, the one, the only, I am joined by Bianca. Literally, that's it. I'm joined by you, Bianca. Good afternoon.
Hi, Meg. How are you doing?
I'm good. So, Bianca, who is CEO?
Yes.
Of CEO Sleepout. What can I say?
It's a mouthful. It's a mouthful.
Bianca, thank you so much for coming along to Button Banter.
Yeah, great to be here.
You know, this is it. It's an afternoon of like literally that. How much prep have we done, Bianca?
Zero.
That's it.
Do you know what? We're all pros at this, Meg.
We're pros. We can do this.
Chew the hind legs off a donkey.
We are going to literally banter it out today, Bianca.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling that's a better podcast. Is it better just be like Bianca's Banter?
Oh, yeah.
We could just rename
it after me.
I think we should. I mean, on that note, we have to just deal with most recent news. Then we want to talk to you about, like, literally how you got here. And I don't necessarily mean just from New Zealand, but we'll come on to New Zealand because, I mean, I'd like to say you travelled all the way from New Zealand to come to our podcast.
Yeah.
But that would be a bit of a fib, Bianca.
Not quite as long a trek.
But still a lovely location. Scenic.
Amazing.
And I have to say, it is actually Saltburn, by the way. It's gorgeous.
And it saved me. It has saved me.
Yeah.
I've been there 23 years. I've had ups and downs, but on the whole, it's been net positive, I would say. I raised my girls there. They're now 24. They live in New Zealand.
Amazing.
But, you know, there have been tough times, and that knowing that I can go to the end of my street and watch the sea rolling in, no matter what the weather is, it's always amazing. It always makes you feel better.
I have to say, on that note, it is true, isn't it? It is a bit of a saviour. Yeah. Actually, to be fair, I was on the coastline yesterday, and it was a bit choppy, if I'm being honest, Bianca. But there's something about it, isn't it? It just makes you kind of like, do I want to say grounding, even though it's water? But it is, isn't it?
And it's grounding, and then it just makes you feel better. And there's something, you know, everybody knows about the negatively charged ions when you've got moving water. Yeah. But there's also now new studies to show that water's holding, it's holding almost like memories in its crystalline structure. There's brand new stuff coming out. Yeah, my mind's just been blown about this. So I'm quite in love with water and being around it at the moment.
That is actually quite amazing. My colleague actually at Red Button Marketing Training, she has a bit of a project that she works on just herself, which is about sort of single-use plastic reduction, use of single-use plastic. You know, she actually has, it's called One Step Ocean, but it's about protecting the oceans. So I think this whole thing of what they bring to you and what they've got there and what we're learning, it's amazing, isn't it? So we need to protect them, basically, because
we really do.
We need to have that out there, you know.
We really do. So I'm in love with my beach and the ocean, and I've been swimming 3 or 4 times in the last month or two. It's always been absolutely beyond bloody freezing, honestly. I
mean, I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how I've survived it, but I thought I've got to get in here, and I'm going to just stay in for 3 minutes. And after that 3 minutes,
is that it? Is that
you sort of start to feel it's a bit warm, and you think, oh, I can handle this.
That's good. So, yeah. That's good, because I'm just sort of thinking that is really brave. And I think what's 3 minutes of? It's nothing, is it, in a way? But it's like, I'm one of those people when you're on holiday, you know, I look really weird going into the pool. That is on holiday when it's warm.
You just toe first and then
I'm like,
ankle.
Can't go to the waist, you know, when you're like going, and everyone else is there looking at you like, what are you doing?
Well, I got put through my paces by Anthony Hutton. Oh, he did a retreat for his, he's got this Never Throw in the Towel project, which is phenomenal. It's to help men start talking about, if they're feeling depressed or they're just talking to each other.
Great.
And he did a women's one. So I went along with Charlotte Nichols from Harvey and Hugo. We went along, and it was like a 3-degree day. The water was 1 degree. He put us through our paces. We did some boxing. We did some breathing. And then we went into like an open pond, I would say, pond with a muddy bottom. My toes were in the mud, and it was 1 degree. And we had to stay there for 3 minutes. And I honestly thought I was going to die. So we'd done all the breathing, the Wim Hof, and all of that stuff, and the kind of meditation. And we went in, and I was holding Charlotte's hand. And, I mean, first of all, I thought I was going to die. Then I looked at that Charlotte, and I thought, crikey, she's not going to make it. She's struggling. No. But I thought, I'm going to stick it up. But everything in your mind is screaming, get out.
Yeah.
Get me out.
But you did it.
But we did it. But I promise you I was the first to crawl out on hands and knees.
Yeah.
All fours.
Well done.
Claws in the mud. I was like, get me out. Sort of ran.
Hang on. Yeah. I'm a CEO. Get me out of here.
Exactly. That's what it was.
I love that.
Anyway,
we need to talk about CEO Sleepout and what that's all about. But that, in a way, and I know from the time that I've done a few sleepouts and chatted with you do not know when people's circumstances are going to change, and it's people's lives, and anything could happen to anybody at any time. And so we talk about all these other things, but ultimately as well, anything can cause someone to be without that home, So tell us a bit more about CEO Sleepout and where you're at right now.
And just to caveat, I'm not a social worker, I'm not in the mental health space, and I'm not really on the front line of homelessness. I talk to business leaders. But over the years, I've had to learn, excuse me, I'm just going to clear my throat a bit. Over the years, I've learned about some of the things that can lead somebody into homelessness. And early trauma is now known. They have trauma-informed services because early trauma in childhood and a series of, there's a kind of a chart of maybe 12 things that could happen to a child. And if 3 out of those 12 happen, that child's considered very, very high risk of mental health, harm, trauma revisiting itself and playing out in the later life. So it's fundamental. So if you see somebody who has fallen into homelessness or is maybe in an addiction spiral, there is something that person, they can almost always trace it back to an early life trauma.
Yeah. Just shows about that intervention bit sooner, really. It's all related, isn't it? It's all connected. Early intervention, support, etc.
Absolutely. All the upstream stuff. And I'm sitting down to plan a hackathon for CEO Sleepout.
Okay, right. Normally I don't want to interrupt, but you read my mind, Bianca. I love that, because I was going to say to you, obviously we need to talk about New Zealand as well. You're from New Zealand, a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous place. But I was going to say, when's the hacker going to come out? So tell us about this.
So the hackathon, hopefully March, if we can get it organised and get our ducks in a row in time. And I will bring charity heads, business brains, policy makers together for a one-day in-person event. It would probably be down the M1, somewhere like Milton Keynes. Get everybody in a room and just get the brightest brains onto some of the problems that there are with solving homelessness. So the big question is, how do we get to a place where we're working together to solve homelessness in the UK? And there are so many overlapping Venn diagrams, and you touched on one that I think is really important, which is the care system. We don't have an adequate care system for our children, and we often find that it's the shortest walk to homelessness, being in a care system, homelessness. But there's also mental health, there's addiction, there's veterans, and of course housing and home building, social homes. We just do not have enough property to make sure that people have a safe roof over their heads when they fall into strife.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to tackle.
There is
a lot to tackle. But last time a big consultancy, PwC, looked at it in 2017, 2018, and they actually said, if you invest 30 million in this, sorry, not 30 million, 30 billion, I think, you can solve it in 10 years, but that will cost society less than letting it continue at the rate it was going in 2017. And of course, it has exponentially mushroomed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since then.
Gosh, Bianca.
So we just need to keep talking about it. So
we've got to do it. And you've done such an amazing job on a global scale, really. You know, you're being recognised for the work that you've been doing in this role at CEO Sleepout. Touching on a little encounter you had recently, Bianca, I think we do need to highlight this. Pretty major. I'd like to say it's a scoop and exclusive, but I think the world know. Who did you meet?
I met the King.
Yes.
King Charles, and I pitched him. I said, I need you to help me solve homelessness. I'm doing a hackathon. I'm going to bring business, charity and policymakers together, and we're going to work it out. We're going to create a roadmap. And he just laughed.
Really?
I sort of refined it down to my 10-second pitch.
Your elevator pitch to the King.
But actually, the key words: business, community, homelessness. His eyes lit up because he cares. He genuinely does care, does our King. And he's always championed what more can business do? Business in the community, Prince's Trust. It was all ticking all his, his neurons were firing.
Bianca, this is amazing.
So he leaned in and he looked at my badge. I said, Bianca Robinson, CEO of Sleepout. And he went, it is. He said, I tried that 20 years ago. He said, it's not impossible. It can be done. So
wow.
Get in.
How did you feel when he said that to you?
Oh, I was absolutely chuffed to bits. I was chuffed to bits. So I have to follow it up.
You do?
And make sure I get his rubber stamp on it.
Yeah.
But get a project plan so that I can put something in front of him in a one-pager and boom. Yeah. Let's hope it all goes.
Can I just say, personally, Bianca, when we've got the King in the WhatsApp chat group, I'm not being funny. No. If we have a new person on the WhatsApp group, Charles.
Charlie boy.
Hi there.
So I was thrilled to bits. It was monumental. It was such a great moment. And I've got a great picture which is worth 1,000, marketing dollars.
Wow, it is. Oh my word! I think I've seen the picture. The facial expressions, like he was smiling and he was really engaged.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
that's just so lovely. A treasure. Yeah, I can see that in a frame on the mantelpiece.
Well, I've got the digital copy, so we'll see.
It's got to be there. Am I going all old school?
No. I will actually get it framed because I think it's a big life moment. And
it's fabulous.
It's really exciting.
How long has CEO Sleepout been going now, Bianca?
So Andy Preston set it up. They did the first Sleepout in 2013 under the banner of the Middlesbrough and Teesside Philanthropic Foundation that he set up. And I wasn't involved as an organizer, but he sort of kind of grabbed me for some marketing tips and could I help, spread the word, and roped me into doing it as well. And I thought, oh my God, when I was lying there, it was like, oh my God, it was so cold. It was, it sleeted, I think, that night outside the Riverside in Middlesbrough. I was so bitter. But there was a camaraderie. There was a vibe. Yeah. It was really cool. I had my guitar, I seem to remember. It was really cool. I thought, this is cool. And then I think, we had a conversation. I said, that was great, Andy, but don't make me do it again.
We can laugh.
But that first one raised, I think, about 37, nearly 40 grand, just in Middlesbrough. So it was quite clear that it had legs and it could roll out. And then I did my own thing and Andy did his own thing, and he built it up with his PA Diane in their spare time, voluntarily, all across the country. And we're talking in London, he did the Oval, and he did Wembley, he did Birmingham, he did Liverpool, he did Nottingham, Manchester and Newcastle. And sort of 4 years down the line, I got this phone call out of the blue, and it was Andy saying, I've built CEO Sleepout to where it is. I think it needs somebody to help drive it forward with me. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not sure how much time I can give you, because at the time I was lecturing at Newcastle, lecturing at York St John. I was freelancing as the digital catalyst. I had semi-permanent contract clients with sound training for reading, and another one which I can't remember, but I was juggling. And I was doing an adult teacher training BTEC. So this is what I was doing. But he phoned me. It was like from 5 a.m. till 11:30 at night. My day was blocked in intervals. So I thought, how am I going to squeeze this in? but I did. I think I just my weekends went down the toilet. And then after 4 weeks, he said, it's clear you're doing more than work than you're charging for. You know, we need to try and make this more permanent. And so we worked out to wind down my lecturing and wind down my other contract work and just step fully into CEO Sleepout, which I did. And I just loved it because it just met all of my values, which I think is the most important thing. It made me feel like a sense of personal fulfillment at last. I think there's a lot of people who kind of, their dream might be to run a business or, build a business and make money. And then when you get there, you sort of realise something doesn't feel quite right. It doesn't feel right. Yeah. And it's really because the way I see it is your business is a creative act. It's you have created and birthed something of yourself into the world, right? And if that something doesn't look like you, walk like you, talk like you, it hasn't got your values embedded in it. Yes. I think that's the most soul-destroying feeling in the world.
Do you know, I think that's such a massive and huge important point you've made there, Bianca. I love that. The whole thing about values. You're absolutely right. And I think certainly for CEO Sleepout, I think that's a real key point as to how you've just and why you've just done so well and been an incredible person, an ambassador. And I think, well, I've said it so many times, I just think you need every award going personally, but there you are. That's just me. What I think, because I think you're living by your truth. It's your truth, it's your values, and it's what you believe and what you stand by, and you're able to do that.
Yeah, I think the work itself is the reward. I don't actually need the accolades, because I think people, there are people, because we like to go to these events and, schmooze and everything. And I think there are people that think that it would mean a lot to me to win but it's what you award. Yeah. But the work is actually, I'm doing something I think's important.
Fabulous.
It's no amount of money or accolades can buy that feeling of personal fulfillment.
I really get you. I think that whole thing of it's like it's your personal value, and like you said, that fulfillment, and you feel like you're really doing what you truly believe in, and as well. And I think that is such a lovely feeling, like you say. And on that note, and I've seen the videos recently, people talking about what home means to them, and I think it is that whole thing of what things really mean to you, and when you can really touch on that, it's such a powerful thing.
Yeah, but you could extrapolate that to business. What does your business mean to you? Yeah. And your business is actually a vehicle for, it's a vehicle for you to provide something in the world that adds value to someone else, right? That's what a business is. Yeah. There's an exchange, there's a value exchange. Yeah. But what if it also added value to the people that work for you, their families, the local community, obviously the planet, all your stakeholders. So that's where I'm trying to get to, this idea of the way I feel about running CEO Sleepout. I think every business owner can create that feeling in their business. They just have to look and say, okay, what more can I do? And I think what I do tell my people who come and sleep out, Megs, and you'll have heard this because you've been there three sleepouts, 4?
It's coming up with my 3rd.
Yeah, coming up with Yeah,
just a newbie.
He's our ambassador for Darlington, everyone.
Come on, I'll be there.
But what I try and leave you with is, you go to sleep in your sleeping bags outside in the cold in Malden Park Stadium or Riverside or wherever we are, and you won't get a great sleep. I'm not promising anyone a great sleep.
No.
So what I say is, when you are lying awake at 3 a.m. looking up at the stars, you are also thinking, okay, now I get some of what it's like for some people out there. Yeah. I've got skin in the game. If I want to walk out my front door and not have to walk past the next rough sleeper and the next rough sleeper, if I want to feel proud of the city I live in, the community I live in, the country I'm part of, I've got skin in the game. So
Yeah.
What can I do to strengthen that fabric of society? And I just think business owners have a power. They have a power to do something. They've got an opportunity to do it, and I think they've got a responsibility to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's driving that change, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is looking at what you've got available to you, where you can like bring that sense of community and reach out. Its social value and more than that, and all of that as well built in.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's really it. And I was thinking the other day about home, and I know it means something different to everyone, but I kind of see it also as a place where I have choices. Yes. And I think in a way, that alone, if you don't have that, if your choices are removed, really, do you know what I mean? And you're not in that situation. I have a choice where I want to go and make a hot cup of tea or sit on the sofa or lie on the bed or whatever, stand on the balcony, whatever I need to do. I've got the luxury of making those choices in my space.
Absolutely. Gosh, it's about the gratitude as well. It's about realising where we are in relation to what other people in society. It's that inequality.
And it can be a fine line between it, you know, so it's a real thing. I think CEO Sleepout has done amazingly well, and you've been an incredible person, I think, to lead that. And I think the future mission, and I'll just say you heard it here first, guys, we'll report back when Charles is on board in that group, but you know
working on it.
We're working on it.
I
also remember the time I met a guy called Lee actually in Leeds, a rough sleeper guy, and we got chatting, and he was telling me about his life and how he ended up where he was, and we had a very, very honest conversation. But I can remember people watching me as I was chatting with him, walking past looking like, what's she doing? But I learned quite a lot as well. I really tried to relate to him and not stand up too tall when he was sat too low. Do you know what, little things? I learned that from someone at the CEO Sleepout who'd been...
Kerry,
who said that whole thing of when you're rough sleeping and someone stood over you talking down, it's just that body language thing. So I remember kind of crouching down and chatting with him. Do you know what I mean? But little things like that, and his story. But he told me how he'd got a job and he'd done this and that and the other and lost it like that, and his life crashed down, and you know, so it's really interesting. Those stories it makes it very real. Do you know what I mean? So it's a definite thing, without a doubt. I mean, so CEO Sleepout, like, incredible, and we're going to be raising funds again this year for that, and we'll be doing it in Darlington, and so look out for more details on fundraising pages, everybody. The subject of home, we have to touch on New Zealand, because that was first home.
My home,
Tell us about New Zealand.
So just before I dive into that, Mags, I've now lived, this is the year I've lived in Saltburn. As long as I ever lived in New Zealand.
Oh, right.
So I'm on that tipping point.
Oh, gosh, yes. So you'll be more...
so I feel like...
Salt burner. Is that what you call it?
It definitely feels like my home. And of course, you know, I've got a flight going back on November the 29th to New Zealand, to Wellington, and that's also my home. But it's a home that is now a bit more distant, if you know what I mean, in my... to me in my heart. It feels like it is always, it's in my DNA. But do I remember every street corner and every, you know, do I recognise? Don't know. Does it feel like I could sit there and just go back and live there? Probably not. Not straight away, but my daughters are there now.
Lovely. So what kind of work are they doing? Where are they?
So they're both 24. They're living in separate flats, and one works in the council, and one works in a restaurant.
Amazing.
I said to her, Isabel, we're going to hothouse you when I get there, because she's got a degree in sustainable home design and construction.
Wow.
So if she's sitting around not using it, there's something. I might have to go and do a bit of mortgage work when I'm out there.
See, there's me all about the hacker, you see. There's me thinking, are we going to get everyone doing it? Are we going to get people doing this?
Yeah.
Because I mentioned that only because there's also a little bit of a sport connection between us.
Yeah.
And we do watch a little bit of rugby, don't we?
We do watch a little bit of rugby. I mean, we're going to Melbourne Park, aren't we, on this weekend?
Yeah.
But at CEO Sleepout in Darlington, we've got Tony Underwood, England legend Tony Underwood, by the way.
God,
and when I met Tony, my fabulous opening line to him was, I went to school with Jonah's wife, Jonah Lomu's wife. And, you know, he just...
No way!
Tony is so gracious.
That is
and
fantastic.
He goes, how is Ned? You know, how is Jem? I said, I don't know. I haven't spoken. I was like, I just thought that I'd give you my small claim to fame, you know, just an icebreaker. Obviously, we'd broken the ice or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just said to Tony, my claim to fame is, and it's kind of a tenuous. Anyway, very tenuous connection. But anyway, then he got up into his live talk and he said, the worst day of my life was the day I went up against Jonah Lomu. So there's me wanting to crawl under the table and disappear.
No, did I just say that? Oh no.
Yeah. The worst day of his life. The worst day of his life. And the worst day of his life because the whole expectations of his country rested on his shoulders that day.
Yeah.
And Jonah just picked him up like a...
I remember when he first came out.
He just sort of flung him. He just flung him to the side.
Incredible.
He just railroaded.
What a player! It was just amazing, wasn't it? Fantastic New Zealand player. Oh my God! And I think, and here's you saying that's my claim to fame, that I went to school with Jonah Lomu's sister, and you just met the king. Yeah. This is like hilarious. I love that, Bianca. But I mean, growing up in New Zealand must have been incredible, and like
and you appreciate it many, many years later. So I think growing up there, it is a wonderful place. We were out, my dad had a yacht. We were all over the country. We learned to ski. We learned to water ski. We had a beach out. Blah, 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 all the things. Yeah. But you don't, for 1 minute, appreciate it.
No. It's like anything, isn't it? And I think when you're older or when you look back, you go, oh, God, actually, maybe that was pretty good, really.
So going back to New Zealand with the girls for the first time when they were sort of old enough to realise how amazing it was like I was seeing it with fresh eyes as well. And it is HD colours.
Yeah,
insane.
I have that in my head.
Yeah.
I just have that whole thing about fresh, vibrant colours.
It's fresh, it's vibrant, it's blues, greens, turquoises, pops of red. The trees we have this Pohutukava tree that comes out at Christmas, and it's it pops red. It's just unbelievable.
On brand.
It's just phenomenal. And we've got mountain, sea, desert. We've got every kind of scenery that you could imagine in the world stuffed into one country.
Incredible.
Just incredible. So and I never take it for granted now. Every time I go back, we do something like a 4-day trek, or we go somewhere amazing, and we just appreciate it.
I think this just means that, just like you, I think you are absolutely the person that brings vibrancy, colour, ideas, creativity, every kind of fantastic thing to what you do in CEO Sleepout, but in everything I think that you get involved in. And I think it's just fantastic. All that experience you've got, wherever it's been, bring it all together, and it's just an amazing thing.
I can't imagine not giving 100%. And there are times I've been almost wiped out with exhaustion, or, I've just spoken on a panel at the Riverside this week about the breast cancer diagnosis and journey that I had in 2020. And I think that I would, if I hadn't had, I say, the North Star of a job that I'm passionate about and I believe in and is fulfilling to me, I don't think I'd have a reason to get up in the morning.
That's so touching and incredibly personal. But like you say as well, it's having passion, purpose, belief. Gets us up each day. Keeps us moving forward. And I think that's just amazing.
And then there's other sort of, I try and have creative outlets as well. So I play music badly. I play the guitar terribly. I play the piano.
Favourite song that you play?
Oh, at the minute I'm doing Fall at Your Feet by Crowded House on the piano.
Oh.
Because I went and saw Crowded House, Kiwi.
Love that.
Kiwi great.
There you are, you see.
And I was re-inspired by all the imagery that, Neil Finn writes in his song. He's such a beautiful songwriter. So I just thought I could just do an ode to. I've got to butcher one of their songs.
And also as well, before we may come to any conclusions, we are not going to go into too much detail right now, but it is fair to say, isn't it, Bianca, that we did actually go and watch the Middlesbrough women, and we did.
We were songwriting.
We were songwriting.
Story.
They do actually now have the ultras who are taking over on that, and they are doing amazing.
Watch out, Mecca.
But watch out.
Watch out, Neil Finn.
We were giving it rock all.
We were giving it loudly.
So, I forget exactly what we actually did come up with.
I forget. I can't remember that.
I don't think it was that great. So we need to go back to the drawing board. So maybe we need to meet up with the guitar, and we need to thrash out tunes.
They do need a chart, don't they?
Yeah, the boys have got loads now. Honestly, go watch the Ultras. They're doing amazing. They've got loads.
Right.
I do know some, but on the spur of the moment, I'm like, But we do need to sort this out. We need to get a guitar. We need to sit down there. You've heard of Lennon and McCartney. I mean, I'm just saying. Brothers and Robinson.
I love it.
Actually, that doesn't sound too bad.
There's got a ring to it. There's got a
might work.
ring to it.
No, honestly.
Royalties
yeah, thank God this is banter, and that's no one's going to take me seriously on that point. But Bianca, do you know what? Honestly, I feel we could probably, just keep going, because I think this is just the tip, I think, of the iceberg, if you like, of the story. There's so much more involved, but I think it is honestly a genuine pleasure to have you with us today, but also to know you and to be involved in working with you.
Likewise. Back at you, Meg.
Honestly, Bianca, it's fantastic, because I think you're just such a great person and amazing. So it's just a joy that you've joined us on Button Banter and shared, some of that. But honestly, I think it's worth us recapping and coming back another time to catch up on more, because the story will continue. Give me a couple of headlines on your goals for next year. Couple of headlines, what you're looking to achieve in 2025. What can we expect?
First of all, the hackathon. Look out for the hackathon. Then I've got 4 new cities. I've got Aberdeen, Cardiff, Essex, Reading. Oh, boom, ready to go.
Boom.
So they're cities we've never been in before.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So growing sales. I've taken on my first full-time member of staff.
Whoa.
Dan Murphy. He started last week, so he's 1 week in.
Amazing.
And I've got my 2 fabulous part-timers, Hen and Jane. So the team is strengthening. We do everything on a shoestring. But no, just to make it again better than it was the year before. That's all we can ever strive to do, because we are bootstrapped.
Yeah,
we bootstrap it, and we just hope for the best, and we go hell for leather, work really hard, and hope for the best, and oftentimes it comes out better than we could have imagined.
Yeah, absolutely. With having great, inspiring leadership as well. Bianca, and keep the tunes coming, and like you say, enjoy the sea, enjoy the oceans, play music, and support the community. Absolutely. I think this is the headlines from this. Let's do that. So Bianca, it just honestly leaves me to say thank you so much for coming on Button Banter. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a good chat. Absolutely. We can just literally chit chat. I mean, we did cover a few subjects there, and we did get into Bake Off. We talked a bit about that as well. I don't know how that arrived, but we'll revisit that another time. Bianca, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
You've been listening to Button Banter, the podcast from Red Button Marketing Training, in association with our partnership with Middlesbrough Football Club Women.